Well, welcome back to another Wednesday whiskey review from ya boys, the Buffalo Happy Hour. Today, we are still on that bourbon train, whiskey train, because we love it so much better than tequila. And today, we have Colonel E.H. Taylor, right?
Colonel
E.H. Taylor. And today's the small batch. So this is the one that we are going to be drinking today. This is Bottled and Bond 50 ABV 100 proof. And this was for my bachelor party. So this has been sitting in my basement waiting for this review because we had to go through tequila. Michael, tell them where you got it from, though.
Addie's. Who got this for you, Derek?
Damn it. You did.
You're goddamn right. All right? You're right, Derek. I did. I bought it, and I bought it proudly. And then I got Balvenie 14-year Caribbean cask for the boy, because I know that that's his favorite scotch, also mine. And he had about 80% of it the first night.
Hell yeah.
Okay? One of the greatest bachelor weekends that we've had since mine. And why? Because we did the same thing.
Damn right.
Retreated to the woods, made a fire, smoked cigars, cooked meat, drank whiskey, fell asleep, repeat. Lucky if we showered. All right? It was a fantastic time. He added yard games. I had a couple yard games, but a hike. And then, you know what? Screw it. We did the same friggin' thing on his. We had a blast. And then you know what we did? We drank. And we drank a good amount responsibly because we're in the woods. Where else are we going to go? We picked this up at Addie's. Addie's Fine Wine and Spirits. They got it. It's on their shelf. It's a little allocation deal. No big deal. Make sure you check in with leadership over at that store. You can secure yourself a little bottle once it comes in from downstate Kentucky, okay? Addie's Fine Wine and Spirits located on Transit Road in Williamsville, a.k.a. Billsville. They have an in-house wine sommelier, all right? A knowledgeable staff that knows all the SKUs within the store. Huge wine selection. Also a pretty damn good selection of whiskeys, all right? Download their app, Addie's App Store. Okay? Addie's is on the App Store, rather. And they're also in the Google Playground Play Store for all those weird people that use Androids and deal with a Playground Play Store, because apparently that's what Android users are into.
Fuck, damn right.
Anyways, we are going to drink this, and we are going to review it. If you're new here, subscribe, like, comment, and follow. All right? We are going to do a label branding. We are going to do a initial taste. We are going to do a nose, an ending note, and a final rating. Not in that order. Keep up. All right, everybody. Let's dive in.
Is not keep it up.
To E.H. Taylor.
All right, so E.H. Taylor. From
Bottled and Bond small batch, not the single barrel.
Label Brandon, what are you getting?
Hi, bro. Came in packaging. Look at the label. It's not overcomplicated. It's right to the point. You already know it's E.H. Taylor. All right?
You're topping out hard right now.
You'll be good to go.
You're like clipping. You're juiced for this.
You know who's over the top as well? That motorcyclist who's hitting redline because he forgot how to shift on his crotch rocket. Anyways, moving on.
This is Bottled and Bond. It is 100 proof ob. And we got the
wait till this weekly episode.
Yeah, right. So, Label Brandon, what are you giving it? A++?
A++ faux show.
All right. I would love that bourbon comes in a box. That's my favorite part of Scotch.
Real cork.
And I love it. It's real cork. It is a different type of bottle. It's not your typical whiskey bottle because it's a little bit thinner, a little bit taller, kind of like you and I.
We've had E.H. Taylor on before, correct?
No.
Yeah, we have.
No.
Stop it.
Never had E.H. Taylor on. I don't think. We've had Pappy on. Not E.H. Taylor, though.
We got to dive into who the hell E.H. Taylor is.
Well, then look it up. It's not my job. It's your job.
No. That's not true. We've done research on E.H. Taylor before.
Have we?
Yeah, I'm convinced.
I don't think so. Which one would we have had? The rye or the single barrel?
Yeah. There's no way.
Pause.
I remember talking about him within the first year of the podcast. There's no way. There's no way.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, we did.
I'm telling you right now, we didn't.
E.H. Taylor, Bottled and Bond. Stop.
We didn't.
Sometimes this is sold for like $125 a bottle. All right?
Just look at his initials. Ernest Hemingway Taylor. Is that what it is? That's all I really care about is what his actual initials
It's
are.
owned by Buffalo Trace, first and foremost. All right? The distillery that produces their whole range of products has been standing for centuries, but it's not until Sazerac purchased the grounds in 92 that they began to build the core line of products you see today. Okay. So, let's dive into it. Unbelievable.
We don't have to do this today if you don't want to.
Buffalo Trace created E.H. Taylor.
Edmund Haynes.
Okay? It was first bottled in 2011. The idea was for the brand extension was to honor the man who was most credited with creating the Bottled and Bond movement, Edmund Haynes Taylor. We know all about the law. We don't know about the man behind the law. That's who this man is. Tell him about Bottled and Bond Act.
The Bottled and Bond Act was made to combat rectifiers that were making whiskey and adding stuff to it, making it toxic for people. So they're like, you know what? We're going to make this government controlled because if we know anything about history, it's when the government gets involved, everything goes much better. So what they did was they're like, let's take all this whiskey, put it in a warehouse that no one has access to. It's locked, it's bonded, and we will account for everything. It was actually from a tax standpoint where the whiskey profits from the tax, and they can actually be able to better understand what the distiller is selling because they had accounted for everything, and then that funded the war and all that stuff. So it's a big movement, but basically it was a couple-pronged approach there. And really, in order to have something bottled and bonded, it has to be 4 years, it has to be 100 proof, and it has to be locked in a government-controlled warehouse for those 4 years. So that's kind of where you get some of this product. You cannot have a bottled and bond product without it being 100 proof. So if you see something on the shelf that is not 100 proof, but it says bottled and bond, they lying to you. I don't know how prevalent that is, but I just decided to get on my soapbox there because I feel like it has happened before.
Well, anyways, this is their entry-level option because it's a small batch.
Yeah.
Okay? It's typically aged anywhere from 7 to 8 years, depending on the batch. Roughly the same age as Buffalo Trace. It's proof down to 100 proof, and it's chill filtered before being bottled up. What's crazy is the retail price for this, Derek, is supposed to be $40.
Yep.
But because bourbon is bourbon, it went all over the place. So, guys, realistically, what we're looking at here is having something that's supposed to be $40 shoots up to well over 100. Now, E.H. Taylor's famous. If you're experienced in bourbon, you've been around the block, you've had it all before, yada yada, etc., or if you're brand new, my opinion, E.H. Taylor, you know what it's good for? Right now, this time of year. Fall. It's a perfect fall bourbon, and it's great with a cigar, and you get the buzz from the nicotine, you get the buzz from the whiskey, you sit down, you completely decompress, and you forget about all your problems. That's what this is good for. Great around a fire with friends. You just slow down, you enjoy this. It's a definite sipper. Definite sipper. This is not something that you guzzle, okay? And you get to experience EH for all things EH. Start here. Their small batch is amazing. Their single barrel is amazing. Just keep trying their lineup if you can find it, if you can get it. It's worth having. It's always a staple. It's always something good to have on your shelf. It's a good collector's piece. It comes in the packaging. This is something that is worth having, especially from a whiskey lover's standpoint. Derek, on the nose, what are you getting?
This is where I get a little skeptical, though, when it comes to Kentucky whiskey. Because you have a guy that is known for the Bottled and Bond Act, and then they have the whiskey made from Buffalo Trace. They're all under the same thing. And at that point, it just becomes a marketing thing. Like, we're just going to create this just for marketing and to charge more and to be allocated. That's what frustrates me about Kentucky whiskey in general.
Yes and no. Like, when you boil it all down, yes. Is there more to it? Yes. I mean, you got to respect where respect is. I mean, that's what we're drinking right now is a beauty capitalism.
Right. But that's why I don't like Kentucky whiskey in general.
Pour some.
So, yeah.
Golly.
So, what do we give for A++ for the label
branding? Yeah.
Okay.
Nose. You ready?
Very spicy.
Spice. So baking spice, a.k.a. pepper. Wood sugar.
Baking spice and pepper are very different.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
Honey and caramel. So, Kentucky. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Buffalo Trace put stuff in a bottle. I know that a bunch of Kentucky fanboys are going to come at me for this, but I don't really care. You compare this to anything outside of Kentucky, and honestly tell me that I'm wrong that anything is not as good. Like, Alabama-style whiskey, this is MGP for sure. But, like, once you start getting into stuff outside of Kentucky, there's so much more dynamics. I don't understand.
Well, yeah, and again, it's barometric pressure,
And it's all for marketing.
It's all environment. It's name. I mean, sure. Right now, we're drinking the Tommy Hilfiger of whiskeys. There's nothing wrong with that. You still have like the Spiders of the world, or the Carhartts, or name it, right? Like that's kind of how this goes. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. This is something that needs to be had on the show. It needs to be discussed, and it needs to be understood / appreciated.
I have a feeling that if you take E.H. Taylor, Weller, Pappy, and Buffalo Trace, and you line them all up, no one would be able to tell the difference. 99% of the population, there's going to be some dude out there, I can tell the difference.
Well,
like,
I'm sure.
Right, bro.
But if
90% of the people won't be able to tell the difference.
If you take the Distiller Select from Devil's River and you compare that to an E.H. Taylor, I'm curious to see who likes what. Blind taste.
Well, dude, this actual product, even though it's from MGP for sure, but this actual product won double gold 2 years in a row from the San Francisco World Spirit Competition. Like, there's so much better whiskey out there than something that comes from Buffalo Trace.
Yeah.
It's insane to me.
Yes, it is insane.
You know where we're never going because they're never going to bring us out? Buffalo Trace. We just rip on them every show.
Nose.
All right, nose. Yeah, so C+, there's nothing on there that actually screams this is going to be really good. It's just your typical Kentucky whiskey nose. That's what it is.
Yeah, B+.
All right, so B-.
Okay, B-. I agree. Initial taste.
You're getting a little cherry, I guess, which was weird.
I get a lot of cherry.
I didn't expect to get the
I
cherry
get a
in
lot
there.
of cherry.
Yeah, cherry, wood sugars, wood, caramel, vanilla, your typical Kentucky note. But that cherry was a little bit surprising. So I'm going to bump that up. And a little pepper. So I'm going to bump that up maybe to like your B+. I actually enjoy this initial taste. Out of all the Buffalo Trace products, this is probably one of my favorites. So B+.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I agree.
I agree. And you know, why are you smirking over there, dude?
It's just funny because I understand where you come from with Kentucky. We're currently reviewing one of the most sought after E.H. Taylors, to a degree, that every whiskey lover wants E.H. Taylor on their shelf just for the ego stroke, right? Like, I have it. I have a single barrel E.H. Taylor case with an empty bottle that's, cleaned in my basement. Actually, I don't even have the bottle. I have just the packaging.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Just downstairs. Just like I've had it. I enjoyed it. I drank it on my wedding day. It was fantastic. It was a gift. It's just one of those things. Like, it's so funny that so many people jump and fight and claw and tooth and nail over something where it's like, dude, relax. Like, It's not going to be the end of the world if you have it or don't have it. I guess that's like privy of me to say, or like, I don't know, pompous, I guess. But it's like, dude, there are so many other options where it's like, I get it, but my God.
The thing with me, and I think this is where my rub is you get something like this.
I'll give you a rub.
Yeah, hell yeah, you will. Deshaun Watson style. you get something like this, and who does this actually tailor for? It's not very friendly for a beginner drinker. It's not very dynamic for an experienced drinker. So you're literally just buying this to have on your shelf and to have and honestly be disappointed because the amount of money that you're paying for this, the flavors aren't up to it. So who is this product? Who is Pappy? Who is Weller? Who are these for? Because they're not for anybody, I don't feel like.
I don't know. I just think they own a part of the market and the aftermarket that is never going to go away because of allocations. I mean, if you go to Ohio, you can buy Weller for $40.
Yeah.
Like, that's just how it is. But here in Western New York, I mean, dude, it's like $120 a bottle.
Right.
It's just astounding. And it's the same juice. It's like, dude, I don't know. Any note
honestly just tastes like Dr. Pepper to me. Like you're getting this weird, stale, woody Dr. Pepper. Which, I mean, it's not a bad thing. Like, this isn't a bad product. But again, when you really boil it down to what you're getting versus what you're paying, it's just not worth it, in my opinion.
Here's what happens when you drink this from a beginner standpoint, right? You drink it, beginner to intermediate. You can handle ethanol, okay? Here's what happens. The ethanol travels through your sinus cavity, exits your nose. You drink the juice, it's smooth. It leaves, it dissipates. Initial taste, you're getting the normal Kentucky tasting notes. Honey, caramel, vanilla, baking spice. Ending note is basically just baking spice and a little bit of heat, and then it dissipates quickly. Your mouth salivates. It's viscous in a sense, and then it basically re-invites you for more, and you realize, like, oh, this is good whiskey. It's not that it's bad whiskey. What it is it's a standard Kentucky whiskey / bourbon tasting profile from start to finish. The difference is, at the end of the day, it's the journey to get this juice is what makes the taste worth it.
But most people that buy this don't even taste it.
No, and that's what's frustrating. The guys that are living in the aftermarket of whiskey, that drink their own collection, are the ones that need, like, the high five and the praise.
Yeah.
Most people don't.
Right.
And, I mean, dude, I'll be the first to admit, I have a couple bottles in my collection I don't plan on opening at all.
Right.
They're
Me
allocations and or they're just bottles that, like a single barrel 14-year, I don't plan on opening that. I can never get that again.
Mm-hmm.
So why would I open that? I also have a bottle of Blanton's that I can just... I really don't feel like it's necessary to open.
But you also know, you also understand that the value of that, when you open it,
Yeah.
it's not going to taste anything spectacular.
I mean,
because it's Blanton's. It's a Buffalo Trace product.
the Blanton's, sure. I've also had that specific bottle of Blanton's out of that specific batch because the guy that I got it from had an open bottle. So I've tasted it before, so I'm okay. Like that, my ego and like my curiosity has been met, right? Like that check block. But with this, dude, if you buy this, have a cigar and relax. I mean, or just drink it neat. Add an ice cube. Whatever you want to do. Drop of water. Enjoy it. Like, this is something that you can get again. It's not something that's so unbelievably unattainable. It's E.H. Taylor Bottled and Bond. Like, you'll be okay. Try it. Enjoy it. Let us know what you think. For us, we've just had so many different whiskeys from across the country and internationally that it's just tough for us to just give every credit possible to Kentucky alone. This is worth having. It's worth the money. It's worth enjoying. It's just kind of tough. I mean, it's peppery, and it's a high hug. It's 100 proof. It's gonna slow you down a little bit, but it's still a good option. It's still a good whiskey. And you know, for me though, it's still just like a B.
Yeah, it's just a typical whiskey.
Yeah, it's a B. I mean, there's nothing really crazy about it. What would you give for a final rating on this?
Give me the countdown.
All right, give me the countdown.
Give me the countdown. 3, 2, 1,
85. So 83. I mean, it's good. All right.
I mean, it's an 83. It's
an 83 out of 100.
Fail.
It's good, right? But
it's
I
just
would
your
still
run of the mill. You
Yeah.
have this distribution of whiskeys. You know, like you look at the bell curve for all my nerds out there. Flipsky, what's up? You look at the bell curve and you see a majority of the population is right in the middle. Right at that line, that's where a majority of the population is. That's where this lives. It's not extraordinarily great. It's not bad. It's just whiskey. Like, it's just Kentucky whiskey. And if that's what you're going to pay $100-some for, then God bless you. But that's just it's not how I roll. There's so much better out there. I was out to dinner the other day. We'll talk about it a little bit more in the weekly episode. But Gina's uncle, who's a huge bourbon collector, he loves whiskey. He loves Kentucky bourbon. And we were talking the other night, and he's like, I just love Scotch so much more now because of how complex different Scotches are. I'm like, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, dude. Come on. Yes, let's go. I just got super juiced because I'm like, this is what I've been preaching for so long. There's so much out there outside of Kentucky. You just got to get out there and try it. So on that note, 83, it's fine. Go pick it up if you want. Go over to Addie's. You can find it or if not, they can order to let you know when it's in stock. Pay a couple $100 for it or whatever you do. But yeah, if you're gonna have this, please remember to always drink responsibly. Good person. And Michael,
Do not litter.
we're out.